For the sun is no sooner risen with a burning heat, but it withereth the grass, and the flower thereof falleth, and the grace of the fashion of it perisheth. So also shall the rich man fade away in his ways.
The impact of directed energy on modern-day warfare could be very dramatic. It's a very disruptive technology. And so the country that is able to develop and field these capabilities first will have a distinct advantage on the battlefield. Imagine if you're the commander of a U.S. Navy ship in international waters, and you're being taunted by swarms of boats that are coming at you to try to get you to escalate the conflict. Imagine again if you could flip a switch and stop those boats in their tracks without them being able to come any closer, with nobody getting hurt. That type of scenario is where directed energy could be a game changer. Directed energy is the use of electromagnetic energy such as high-energy lasers, high-powered microwave devices, and laser SATCOM communication terminals. Directed energy has two primary applications. The first one is a very, very high-intensity beam of light that has the ability to identify a target at a very, very long distance, or if necessary, to destroy that target at a very long distance. One might imagine that directed energy is a relatively recent development in warfighting, when in fact it goes all the way back to Archimedes' time. It's reported that Archimedes used mirrors to direct the rays from the sun at approaching enemy ships to try to set their sails on fire. Today, we've gotten to the point where these weapons are becoming real, and they have real applications in the 21st century, and it really is time for us to start getting these weapons into the hands of the warfighters.
A forest bursts into flames, but it's climate change the liberal blames. Yeah, the Oak Fire destroyed more than 100 homes and 20,000 acres in the Yosemite National Forest, or Yosemite. It occurred last July. Just days after it started, with very little known about its cause, liberals were quick to blame it on global warming. I'm surprised it wasn't racism, Trump, or gluten. One Senate nitwit tweeting, worsening drought and severe weather will only continue to put lives and property at risk from wildfire if we don't take climate action now. And here's Al Gore 3 days after it sparked, jabbering on about the end of the world.
More people will be killed, and the survival of our civilization is at stake. That's why the heat records are being broken all the time now. That's why the storms are stronger, why the ice is melting and the sea level is rising, and why the droughts and fires are hitting us so hard, and so many other consequences.
In a document called The First Global Revolution, authored by Alexander King and Bertrand Schneider, on pages 104 and 105, it stated, in searching for a new enemy to unite us, we came up with the idea that pollution, the threat of global warming, water shortages, famine and the like would fit the bill. All these dangers, of course, will be caused by human intervention that will require a global response. That's the origin of global warming, ladies and gentlemen.
So you'll understand me when I say that it's of no coincidence the powers that shouldn't be are blaming the sun and climate change for the vast amount of fires you're seeing destroying forestry and vegetation and the wildlife across the earth. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to you of us that are hopeful. Shalom to the elect. Let me continue that thought by saying it's not just one thing that's causing these 4-alarm blazes, okay? At the top of the list is direct energy weapons, hands down, without a shadow of a doubt. But then there's the good old-fashioned way. I think they're calling it controlled burning now. You may know it better as arson, which is exactly what the DEWs are doing, but on a larger scale. Then there's exactly what was alluded to in the opening clip, the harnessing of the sun to cause these fires. And then there's the other reason that mainstream media has pretty much adopted, drought, dry, hot, and windy weather, coupled with dried out plants and foliage and such. All the ingredients needed to start your run of the mill wildfire. Okay. But once you hear Al Gore start talking out of the side of his neck, you know for a fact that something stinks in Denmark. Meaning something's up, and whether it be under the circumstance of a natural occurrence, which I doubt very much, or Esau is on his job again. You can take your pick of exactly what, or more like who it might be. In any event, that minister of mayhem, that doctor of deceit, Esau Edom, is my first round draft pick here. I say doctor, which means to forger, falsify, because of Job 13:4. But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value, hinting to that number one, devil himself killed gates of hell, along with the science eggheads from Yale who first suggested blocking out the sun. Now, the White House is chiming in with the same idea, but as a last-ditch effort if what they claim is due to climate change persists. Now, why is the Biden administration getting on board and really ready to take over the whole initiative? It's because coming from them, it sounds more official and well thought out to the sheeple who they pretty much eat propaganda for breakfast. That's why. Don't get it confused. They've all been wanting to block out the sun for a very, very, very long time now. Esau is the only nation of people whom the sun is at war with and against on the planet Earth today. You know, they'll get their wish soon enough when those nuclear missiles hit. Speaking of doctors, which also speaks to the hypocrisy of the American government, it was a Dr. Keanu Sai, a sovereignty activist and a nationalist of the Hawaiian Kingdom, who filed a civil suit against the then Obama administration, speaking to the unlawful invasion by U.S. troops of the Hawaiian Kingdom in 1893. The unlawful occupation was not only acknowledged by then President Grover Cleveland, but years later it was recognized by the United Nations. Yet they, I don't know, man, America, they have the nerve to stick their nose into the Russian and Ukraine conflict. And provided, I get it, it's because of their interest there, but in any event, they have the nerve to wage war against Russia by proxy. And the clear difference being the inhabitants of Russia and Ukraine. Differences aside, they are the same people. Matter of fact, the U.S. just admitted that they knew that the conflict it couldn't last against Russia. The idea was to just diminish the Russian military and at the same time line the pocket of the American defense contractors. Can't make this shit up. Nahum 3:1. Woe to the bloody city, which is America, aka Babylon the Great. It is all full of lies and robbery, for real. Job 20:19 comes to mind. It speaks to Esau violently taking away a house he did not build. Exactly what he's done with those lasers in Maui and Lahaina. And believe you me, history does repeat itself. Or whatever those things are. Take your pick, no matter what. It's all arson because it was all done intentionally. Let's go to Revelation 6:12. Because it says this. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal. The he here is referring to the Lamb, which is Yahweh Shai. The seal is in reference to the understanding of the scriptures. Revelation, the 5th chapter, is a precept there. Remember, it was Yahweh Shai whom the revelations were given to by the Heavenly Father to show his servants of the things that must come to pass. Revelation speaks to something being revealed, okay? Re meaning back, veil meaning covering, i.e. pulling back of the veil, if you will. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, speaking in conjunction with the effects of the sixth and the blowing of the seventh trumpet and the event of nuclear destruction. You know, in the 80s, the main deterrent against nuclear war was something called atmospheric trauma, the fear of the sun being blocked out and the idea of nuclear winter. again, they're definitely going to get their wish because it's coming. It's not a matter of if, it's when. Matthew 24 and 29, quick precept. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light. The sun and moon will be darkened by those missiles. Okay, figuratively, it speaks to the heathen in a state of confusion and derision, and not having the knowledge of how to overcome their newfound predicament. After the missiles hit, the chariots of the Lord, i.e., the so-called UFOs and UAPs, are going to bring destruction on that great and terrible day of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens, Salakia, shall be shaken. Now, it's not in reference to literal stars, but the so-called leading authorities and those in the higher echelons of society, including the lesser luminaries, speaking to those Hollywood celebrities, all who seem to be a great source of infinite wisdom. They will be in the same state as their government. Again, here it says, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken, meaning not knowing what to do or how to react. Literally, the earth is going to rock and roll from all the nuclear activity. In any event, the gist of the story is don't fall for the okie doke, okay, Israel? The common denominator here is Esau, who is the Heavenly Father's whipping stick. He uses against we Israelites and the other nations. Psalm 17 and 13 says, arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy what? Thy sword. Okay, case in point. Proverbs 16 and 4 says that Yahweh hath made all things for himself, even the wicked again. Esau Edom for the day of evil, and that day being the Most High's judgment upon the earth to recompense Esau and the other nations for their wickedness and the abominations against the earth, and the apple of Yahweh's eye, we Israelites. Made all things for himself, meaning for his pleasure. The his is Yahweh, pleasure meaning to enact his will. Okay. The top banking families and the elite men of the earth are all in the same league, and their war against the sun is really about their war against the blessings to be bestowed upon those who understand and believe this truth, and ultimately those doing the work who keep this faith. Let's go to Malachi 4 and 2. Malachi 4 and 2, it says this, but unto you that fear my name, which is Yahweh, and that is the true name of the Heavenly Father. It means he that exists, ergo he is the all in everything, in joy and pain and sunshine and rain. Good as well as evil. Evil being a compound word, ev meaning age or time, ill meaning bad, ergo bad times. But unto you that fear my name shall the sun, the S-U-N, of righteousness, which is simply symbology in a poetic way of to say that the Most High is the sustainer of life for those on the earth that trust in him. Arise with healing in his wings for these decrepit bodies who are given to not only illness and ailments, but sin. And ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall, ergo to be raised and nourished in the right way. Psalm 17 and 15 says, as for me, I will behold thy faith in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness. Okay, speaking to when Yahweh Shai, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus, returns with the spiritual power, we will have the same power, being we are joint heirs. That's Romans the 8th chapter. Pray him of that number. Let's close with this. Habakkuk 3 and 4. We'll start at 1. And it reads, a prayer of Habakkuk the prophet upon Shaganiah. O Yahweh, I have heard thy speech and was afraid, O Yahweh. As we should be, we should fear and tremble at, or from the hearing of these words, meaning we need to take them seriously. Revive thy work in the midst of the years, make known. These words which lends to the works of the Heavenly Father are being revived today by we men of the Lord, starting with Rabbi Abba Bivens on down. We are a part of this prophecy. In wrath, remember mercy, speaking to Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai, who is returning to the earth to balance the scales, so to speak, and set everything right on earth as it is in heaven. Through all the riots, the civil unrest, the famine, the sickness, and war, mercy will be shown to his elect. Habakkuk 3 and 3. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai came from Teman, and the Holy One from Mount Paran, Salah, Isaiah 63 and 1 on down is the precept. A little reading for those of you at home. His glory covered the heavens, and the earth was full of his praise. The glory is speaking of the chariots that will cover the sky when he returns. In Matthew, the 26th chapter, Yahushua says he has legions, meaning several thousand angels, i.e. chariots, at his disposal. 12 legions to be exact. Habakkuk 3 and 4, and here's the point. And his brightness was as the light. He had horns coming out of his hand. Now the horns represent the laser beams coming from the chariots, live and direct, destroying every godforsaken thing in its path. The Earth's militaries, starting with Esau, ain't made a weapon yet that can combat that. And there was the hiding of his power. Now, when you go into the Hebrew for hiding, the root word speaks to being hidden in the bosom. That is to cherish with affection. True to his promise to save, deliver, and redeem his saints, the elect. Deuteronomy 33 and 3 is the precept there.